Hello, in this lesson we are going to be looking at some of the ways that we can create more meaningful rituals. And so a ritual is any practice, action, or series of actions performed or observed regularly, consistently, and done with intent. And so one of the interesting things that the researchers found is that eating with positive rituals can lead to an enhanced experience and can increase the level of enjoyment experienced from that meal. And so rituals are considered a healing practice in a lot of cultures. And so we're going to be looking at some of the ways that we can integrate some of that into the way that we approach food. And so you may already know this from your experience, but healing disordered eating requires a series of experiments. And the purpose of these experiments is to test your exposure to food and eating situations that may be triggering, whilst giving you strategies to help you feel safe and in control. It also allows you to align your food choices with nourishing the body first. It helps to identify strategies that work for you towards food freedom. It also builds the evidence that you are in control, you are safe, and you deserve nourishment from food. And so all of this helps to develop a plan so that you can manage eating even when life feels hard. So we want to start well. And so how do we create these meaningful rituals? Well, the first thing that we want to do is to start with preparation and planning. And so we want to plan our meals ahead. It doesn't have to be, stringent and really strict, but we want to have an idea of what our week or the next few days of food is going to look like. So we want to make a list of that. We want to schedule in your shop. And if you aren't able to physically go to the shop or to reduce stress, we can organize delivery or ordering services to get your groceries home. And so in terms of meal planning, we want to be able to choose recipes and meals according to a few things. And these include the time that you have to prepare and cook your meals, the availability of those ingredients, what you actually feel like, and if the recipe is able to give you any leftovers for the next day or as backup meals. So some of the places that I go for easy recipes includes some of the celebrity chefs or renowned chefs. There's a lot of websites out there, and I do use Recipe Twin quite a lot because they have video demonstrations which I find really helpful. There are plenty of cookbooks available, and there are also so many social media accounts and online blogs that have really great meal ideas, cooking demonstrations, and hacks to make this process simpler for you. And so one of the things that I hear my clients struggle with, and I've heard this quite consistently, is that there is this anxiety, stress, and pressure around shopping for food or going to the grocery store. And so I just wanted to highlight that you are not alone if you experience this as well, because that anxiety, overwhelm, and distress can be the result of a few different reasons. One of them is that having an expansive range of food choice can make it overwhelming. Grocery stores can be a triggering environment from being around food, but also from all the different sounds, a lot of people there, the temperature or the lighting, all of that can be quite overwhelming. And there is also this sense of this fear of judgment or comparison. Some of my clients describe that they can feel that people are looking into their trolley or basket, and vice versa, that they would be over analytical of looking at other people shopping and what they are buying. And so again, these things can be quite distressing. So some of the practical tips that I have shared and some of the things that I've kind of recommended in practice includes having a list prepared of the things that you need. And so this list can include all the staple foods that you need, any ingredients for the meals that you are going to make, any food challenge items that you are going to try, and also non-food items, because sometimes we can get so caught up in figuring out what to buy and picking out certain foods that we forget all the non-food related items that we need. We also want to try and not shop when you are feeling overly hungry or overly full. We know that if you are in any of those states, that can change how comfortable you feel and how calm you are as well. And so you can always choose a smaller or quieter grocery store if you find that more comfortable. Often my clients do describe that shopping at a smaller or quieter grocery store is a better experience. Another strategy would be to practice grounding activities. So this could be practicing deep breathing techniques before you go into the store, doing a guided meditation in the car before you enter, using essential oils to help calm your mood, or bringing a sensory support item. Another really handy strategy that I even use is also to put on headphones or listen to something while you're shopping. So this could be using calm music, soothing sounds, or instrumental music to calm your mood. You can put on your favorite songs, music, or create a specific playlist to elevate your mood. You could use podcasts or audiobooks that you enjoy to just distract you whilst you're shopping, or you can also use affirmation soundtracks to kind of keep you going. Another strategy is to stop label reading or too much food comparison. So we know that in some of the grocery stores, there is a large selection and a large range of options. So I would narrow it down to 2 options, and you can pick from one or the other, and try to not engage in excessive label reading, because that can become overwhelming, and again it can trigger that over analytical kind of thinking. We want to set a time limit to prevent any prolonged time within the store. And if you need, you can always reach out for support. So bringing a support person, a family or friend to go shopping with you. And if you are unable to physically go into the store, you can always shop online or organize for a delivery of your groceries to your home. And the last practical tip is to give yourself a reward for taking the time and effort to shop for yourself, because you do deserve it. So you can always practice a self-care activity after you come home from your shop to help manage your emotions. You could book something nice for yourself, like going to a movie, a massage, or a facial. You can dive into something that you enjoy, or you can add it to your list of achievements. So you can always write down on a note something that you learned or a positive experience from that shop that you did. And so the act of preparing food or eating can become a ritual, and that's because those actions help to care for yourself and your body. How we create positive food and eating rituals is through our intentional actions. We know that eating rituals can often evolve as a way to control a stressful situation around food and eating. So we can flip perspective and change these rituals to actually help us heal our relationship with food. And so this does build on mindful eating, but it goes a little bit further than that, and it helps to create a more positive eating experience for pleasure and enjoyment. One of the ways that we can do this is through intentional cooking. And so this means to set an intention for the food that you are cooking. It helps to bring your attention to creating healing food for yourself and others. Healing food for yourself, your body, and others. Think of your food preparation as an act to nourish your body. It also helps to create a sacred space in your kitchen through creating ambience, and you can use affirmations or meditating whilst you're cooking. So all of this ultimately helps to increase your positive connection to food. Another strategy to try before you actually sit down and eat is to light a candle. And so each time you sit down to enjoy a meal, it can be a simple yet effective ritual to remind you of whatever feeling or tone you want to bring to your meal. Lighting a candle reminds you to pause, slow down, and create a beautiful ambience in which to sip and savor your meal. The dim light the candle radiates relaxes your nervous system, which can help to prepare your digestion for optimal function. Another way would be to practice gratitude. So bringing yourself into a positive state of mind is always helpful for creating a healthy experience for your body, mind, and soul. And so you consider holding gratitude for the source of your food. You could thank the farmers who grew the food that you're eating. You can honor the person who cooked the food for you. or you can celebrate the abundance of food to elevate the health and wellness of your body and your life. Another way would be to practice slow, deep breathing techniques. And so this helps to activate the parasympathetic or calming branch of your nervous system. And so that creates the optimal state for digestion. When you are in a more peaceful state, we know that you can improve your gut symptoms. So by taking a few breaths, this can settle any symptoms like reflux, heartburn, bloating, cramping, constipation, or diarrhea. But it can also settle any anxiety or stress associated from eating. The other way is to change scenery or eating outside. We know that by being in nature, this can elevate our mood or shift how we feel. So you can always take a picnic blanket outside under your favorite tree, set an outdoor table with candles for a romantic dinner. You could take a walk or drive to a nearby park for your lunch break. Or you can even bring your morning coffee and breakfast outside, and get that sunlight and that green exposure. And so to bring this all together, we know that we can create some simple rituals in some of the day-to-day things that we are doing. Some of the strategies that we can practice includes intentional cooking, lighting a candle or practicing gratitude before you eat, slow deep breathing whilst you eat, or changing the scenery or eating outside. Thank you so much for listening to this lesson. I have activities that you can start putting into practice from this module's guidebook. And remember to please like, subscribe, or share this video with others who may find it helpful.